Hey YouTube, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone's holiday was good. So as the weather gets colder and colder, need to get this snow fleet up and running. You probably saw my little reel or a little short that showed a bunch of the tractors ready, but they're not totally ready yet. So I'm gonna be working on the 8123 and get that fully ready. So here we go. So I got the big blower on the 8123 here. Let me get a tape measure and look measure. So this is a 48-inch blower. It's an Aaron style, as you can tell from the just the chute and a bunch of different ways. But this is the Aaron. I got this one originally with the 18G. I got two of them actually. There's the second one over there that I just have for parts. Trying to sell it, but I haven't really posted it. But anyways, so as you saw in my little short, everything runs. I think I need to change that drive shaft out. It looks like it's got a little bit of a bend in it, so I'll take the one off the 18G and put it on here. But everything looks like it turns. I need to make sure there's enough oil in the gearbox. I gotta put chains on it, and that's actually where I wanted to start. So I put one on, and I'm actually pretty psyched because I bought these chains maybe last year before. Bought them from a friend who I bought multiple Graveleys from. And actually I was looking for chains just for a walk behind, and he said he had these, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take them. He goes, yeah, you can just cut them shorter and just cut off a few links and use them for the walk behinds. I said okay, so I grabbed them, and I'm not one to destroy something that's meant for something else, as you probably saw on the the pipe lifts or the lifts for the front ends. I didn't want to cut that one shorter, so I just made my own, because you never know, and in this case it worked out perfectly. So this thing fit perfectly for these tires, so I have one there, and I gotta drop the other one on, which is right there, and then we'll be good. And then I actually might see if I can possibly steal the weights off of my Sears tractor, the rear weights, and put those on as well. But we'll see. Let's get the chain on and get that checked off the list. Yeah, those go when they're made for it. It's really nice how easy they go on. I have the chains that I put on my 18G. There's some cheap Chinese brand. They work fine, but they don't fit as nice as these. These, definitely fit nice. But one thing I will do is to make sure they don't come off. I always use a zip tie on the clasps, just to make sure that they don't shake loose or unbuckle. So I'll throw those on, and we'll get to the next thing. All right, I got the weights off. Chains are on, weights are off. But I can't, I don't have a long enough carriage bolts to put them on these rims right now, so I'll have to grab some at Tractor Supply and then drop them on. But the thing, like I said before, I was gonna put a zip tie to keep the chains from latching, but since the zip tie wouldn't work in this situation, because this is this bow here, and you'd be just pulling it apart, whereas on my 18 I could do it. But in this case, so what I did was I put a carriage bolt right here, obviously round side in, and it'll keep this from, it'll add a little bit of friction to keep this from coming out. We'll have to try it, and we'll see what's going on. It's a a nylon nut, so we'll see. Hopefully this will keep it in position and keep it from falling off. So we'll have to try it. So next thing, need to check the oil in this transmission. I don't think I ever have, so I gotta do that. But one of the other things I gotta do is I don't have a control panel here for the tractor, so I gotta make something. I have the arm, but I gotta make the plate that the thing will go through. I have a universal joint for down there, and then the come through. I've seen some other setups where it's got this weird flat bar that connects to it, which I think is just to help it with telescoping. So I'm thinking I think the reason it's there, and someone can correct me in the comments, is on the crank. It'll always keep the crank in the same spot, whereas if I just connect this with the universal and a straight bar, it'll push out or push in depending on where that goes. But I think I'll try it anyways and see how it goes. The one thing I will have to create is I'm going to create the plate, and then I'll probably have to create some type of nylon grommet for it to go through. So I'll have to make that. So let's jump on that now. Well, back out this morning, it's a little chilly, so I'm going to continue to work on this and, you know, keep going. So I got a couple heaters going. I have my propane one and this electrical one I picked up last summer at the yard sale for $5. So I figured it was worth a try. Little Stanley 1500 watt. So I can feel the heat coming out of it. It's not pumping it. The fan actually sounds like it's trying to slowly work its way up, but I don't know, maybe that's the way it normally does, but we'll see how it goes. I think between the two of these, it should be pretty warm in here, enough to, you know, knock any heat out. So you saw previously basically working on that control panel. So what I'm doing next is, I don't know if you can see the line there. There's a line there, and I'll create one over here. I'm just going to bend these and then weld that joint right there. So, and then I'll drill the holes for the control mechanisms for the chute. I need a hole for rotation and one for the top baffle, or whatever you want to call it, the top guide. So let me I gotta set up the bending brake, which I just found again. I lent it to a buddy of mine, and then I was like, where the hell is this? And I actually put it right there just to make it more obvious, and I probably spent about a half an hour yesterday looking for it, and it was right there. So let me set that up and see if I can bend this. All right, got the bending brake set up. It's a little Harbor Freight cheapie, so I've only used this maybe once before, and I actually had a friend borrow it once. So this thing has only seen probably 2 uses at the most. So so I am definitely not you know, I'm still learning on how to do this and where's the where you put your brake line, you know, what your overlap is, stuff like that, to create the right radius. So I'm just gonna try this and hopefully it works. So I'm just gonna do it from the side here and see what happens. Ooh, definitely might need 2 hands on this. So let me set the camera up and try it again. All right, take 2. Let's hopefully this sheet metal is not too thick for this, but we will find out. If we break it, well, it wasn't destined. Oh, hold on, let me get some heat on it. That's why I actually brought this out. Freezing off, so I'm assuming it's not helping as well. start off really well and then I either don't know what I'm doing or try to cut corners and I screw myself, so hopefully this works. Holy crap, it's definitely pushing the limits of this thing, without a doubt. I need to go a little bit more. Ooh, I think I just bent something on the... Okay, I don't know if that's quite 90. Looks close though. Definitely looks close, so let's see. This thing was definitely thicker. The thickness I like for the control panel, but definitely thicker than I thought could I could find on this little teepee system. So yeah, it's definitely a larger radius than I wanted, but shit happens. Yeah, definitely needed some extra material over there. So, oh well, we'll have to figure that out. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. If I can do this last one, or if I'm just gonna have to like. Yeah, I don't think I can. Can I do it? Yeah, I should be able to do it. So let's try this. This should probably go a little bit more. So maybe I'll just throw in the vise and try to a little hand blacksmithing on it if I can. So let me hammer this out a little bit and I'll be back. I got it to 90 degrees, or close as I'm gonna get. I can heat it up a little bit later to get it a little bit better, but now I'm just gonna bend the top edge and then hopefully just weld the corner so it kind of gives a little more rigidity while it's on the tractor. Not that I think this is, we probably could do without it. Like I don't, if this, you know, if this top end doesn't line up right or it looks shitty and I can't get a really good break, which is quite possible because I don't have a full coverage here, I could just zip it off and just the bend mat I know will be strong enough for what it needs to do. And I decided to just try this. Let's get the hammer going or snot on. There we go. Yeah, that one corner, I'll have to get it later. Ooh, that edge is better than I expected. There we go. So I can get that top edge a little bit. Bend that over a little bit. Just a little bit, or just cut it. I don't know, we'll see. I'll just cut it. Actually turned out okay. Just pound it in a little bit. I know I should be doing it on the vise, but I don't have an anvil. Not bad. I'm happy with that. It's probably close enough for a quick tack weld and should be good. And I'll clean it up. Bottom's a little flared out, so I gotta, as you can see, it's a little, that edge right there, it's not as good as it should. So I'll pound that in a little bit and we should be good. Next thing, after I clean that up, I gotta drill 2 holes for mounting and the 2 holes for the controllers. So, all right. welded the corner. Came out decent. Not great. Definitely some. Oops, sorry. Definitely some pits in it. Nothing. You know, that I'd sell, so to speak. But it's good enough for what I need. So I think it's going to look good. It's going to be on the, you know, on the arm like this, basically, and you know, it'll be good. So now I got to get to putting holes in it. All right, so got the holes drilled. Now it's just a matter of punching the 2 holes, drilling the 2 holes here. They're just over, I think just over 1/2 inch. They're, if I looked at one of my other like controls for, like, I think it was a walk behind, and it uses the same rough stuff. So I think it's about roughly 1/2 inch. So I think one of them I'm gonna put the crank on the underside, and then the chute deflection up and down on the top. And I think the reason is that if I put it, I'm sitting here, right? If I put this, hold on. All right, so if I put this too high, this is the crank, it's going to hit this. If I put it here, I can easily crank, and it's not going to interfere with anything. Even if I think I pull this back, it might. So maybe I have to get it lower, probably as low as I can go on this. Probably. If I have to, I can always increase the length so it pushes it back, or maybe just push it forward more, cut it shorter. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'll figure it out. But sorry about that. So yeah, either push it back so it's right here, or I cut it shorter and drop it into this area, which might be a better idea, because then it's not going to interfere with anything. So I cut this a little shorter and then just push it right there. So let me disconnect it from the front and try that. Yeah, I think if I cut this shorter and just drill a hole in it, it should be fine. It doesn't angle much. I know on it's truly supposed to be like this telescoping system, but it doesn't angle that much, so I'm not gonna overly worry about it. So I think I'm gonna put it like basically right here. I'll put a hole, you know, just above the other hole on the bottom, and then put the other one straight above it in the correct distance. So let's go do it. All right, so I got it in. I don't know if I'm gonna cut it shorter. I know it would probably make it uniform, but I kind of like that handle there, and that one, I guess you don't touch that one as much. This one, you're constantly, when you're moving around, you'll be touching this one like almost every, possibly every pass. So I might just leave it for now. I am gonna either get a grommet or a bushing for that, and we'll work with it. So I think it came out decent. Definitely not perfect. It wasn't. Just kind of fabric cobbling it together as I went along. Didn't actually, design anything ahead of time. Kind of went along with it. But I think it came out fine for what I need. So I think we're good. So, I think it's, it's nice, and it's definitely rigid. I got to add some spacers to this because the threads are all eaten up. And I don't have a die this big. And I don't know if it's worth it trying to buy one just to clean this up. So I could just put some extra washers in here. It'll beef it up. So, because the original one that was on is much thicker material, so it was able to squeeze it. So I'll just have to put some washers behind both of these. That should be okay. And then make a grommet for that and throw some paint on it. So, all right. Maybe I'll do an update on that on the next video. Thanks.